It's Speaking with Gravity. I am Curvin.
I'm your boy, Robert Kelly Jr.
Joshua.
And I'm D.
when we get to D, you're just like, okay, I'm just going to tell you I'm D. We are a mental health podcast, and we talk about how everything affects everything, especially your mental health. I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast. And today we have another guest, and we're talking about setting and achieving goals. And in this particular one, I thought this guest was really, it was important that we had him for this because me and him talk about this a lot offline. But as we always do, we're going to get into Twitter discussions. We're going to go to the QD of the hour episode introduction, and then we're going to get into the meat of the podcast. So going with the Twitter discussion coming from one of my favorite comedians of all times, D.L. Hughley. But I don't even know if I said that right. But
D.L. Hughley?
Yeah, he is one of my favorite. But go ahead and you'll read that.
I'm not D.L. Hughley. He wasn't introducing me.
No.
Like could have been some confusion there. Twitter discussion. Fake it till you make it is a temporary tool to get you closer to the goal. It's not the goal. At some point, you have to put that work in. Let's get it. It's Monday. It's a fresh start. Don't forget to wash your face and brush your teeth and tongue, and let's make it happen.
You know, he always got to spice it up. But the main part that I really like was fake it till you make it it's a temporary tool. Now, I'm of that generation that believes that, right? Are y'all in agreement with the whole fake it till you make it thing?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe I'll take it up.
Let's argue about this for a second. Me and you in agreement that it's useful, right? Fake it till you make it, or you saying no?
I thought you were saying was I in the generation that was brought up when that was
Yeah,
stated.
but do you agree with it?
To a certain degree.
Yeah, I do too. I think when I say fake it till you make it, in my mind is like you don't have to have everything together in order for you to go ahead and start progressing. You can, start moving in a certain way, talking in a certain way. But you don't want. You don't.
I was about to say that. They need to come up with another word, fake, because
I mean,
it doesn't connect like that.
You say they need to come up with that word, but they weren't trying to be literal. It was just a statement. It's a statement that you do in order to. It's a statement that you do just to get the point across.
Right. I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to catch a lot of slack for this.
You can be controversial already from the beginning.
I feel that like the previous generation before us did a horrible job at setting sayings in which we should abide by, and fake it till you make it is one of those sayings that I just don't agree with. Because what if you run into someone that's like actually doing what you're doing? Like it's certain things that someone that is knowledgeable in the area is gonna know. Yo, this person is faking. It's not worth my time. So it's like, why fake it?
Well, the point in that regard, they continue to fake it. That's how you end up being found out. Go ahead, D.
And
you finna help me out.
I think it does come into. I think there is a generational separation because in literal text, when it was used when I was coming up, it wasn't that you were actually faking it. It was another way of you seeing yourself in a position that you may not be. So if you have to look at. Well, let me back up a little bit. You have to look at the fact that today there is a lot more technology and there's been a lot more advancements that are in place now that allow people to obtain knowledge and information at a higher rate and a higher frequency that was not previously available. And so because I couldn't physically be in a conference, virtually, and obtain this information, I wasn't able to necessarily we just had the episode on mentorship. I wasn't able to have a virtual mentor in that capacity. And so now when I look at it, it's more of I have to see myself with where I want to be. And so even though I know in reality I'm not a millionaire now, I have to carry myself like a millionaire. So fake it till I make it is I have to be attentive to, my presentation and things of that nature. It wasn't meaning like how we see it now, because I think the terminology of being fake means like you're pretending something, but it's pretending into a capacity of where not like I'm imitating or trying to do something in a negative way. It's me seeing myself with where I want to go with the potential of it. But I can see both sides, right? I think it's where why this statement D.L. Hughley said is so important, because at some point, if you're not putting any work in, then you're right. People are going to realize you have no substance. But this point is the way in which I perceive it is take what you have now and continue to work to it, because you know where you're desiring to go to, right? Okay. So just like that first time you take a picture, technically you can call yourself a photographer, but it isn't until you sit down and continue to advance your skill sets, change your cameras, begin to learn about lens, that you're still a photographer, but now you're a more skilled photographer. And that's where the context of fake it till you make it comes from with it when we're looking at our generation in comparison to where it is now.
So don't stop calling yourself a photographer.
Right.
As soon as you take that first picture, that's what it is.
Right.
But keep growing.
It's the craft of it, right? It's the experience to it.
And I understand. I'm riding with that. I just feel like the term is misleading.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree with you.
But from the historical context, that make a lot of sense.
Yeah. But now you look at it and you see the power of language, right? So we're understanding now at a certain point, language has real, true meaning. And, like you said, faking it means that's not real. And so you just, again, you create your reality.
I agree with that 100%. I guess why I came off so defensive when I see that statement is because too many times I see people of age faking what they claim to be, and it kills me because it's like, as someone that's eager to learn and that wants to be successful and desire to be taught, it's like, yo, once I get to connect with this individual, I'm like, yo, this was a waste of my time. So it's like, why fake it? I'd rather you be transparent with me and say, yo, I don't got this together, but I aspire to, get here, versus and I think, once again, you said it's a generational thing. I think I hate this, that because of social media, you're able to paint whatever picture you want to be. So you can get on there and state or say, or for an example, I got a friend that he was like, yo, I legit go to a Hilton hotel for probably 45 minutes, get a pen suite, record, and now people think I'm out of town, but in reality, I'm just painting a picture. I'm like, yo, why you faking it? I'd rather take someone, bro, that's like, yo, this is where
he's spending money. You spend money to do that, right? He's spending money.
He's spending. You think I'm gonna spend money?
No. I'm just saying, that it's funny to me. You're spending money to stay in the same town.
Yeah.
To do that, at least go
somewhere, bro.
Go somewhere and spend money.
I'm like, he talking, man, it's helping my Hilton points. It's helping my Hilton points, but you're selling something false.
Yeah.
Right.
So
shout out to the Hilton points.
Yeah, shout out to the Hilton points. So I'd rather you be real and say, yo, I'm struggling with the same thing you struggling, but we can figure this thing out together, than for you to fake it and mislead me. Because now, we're going to have to, I can't say what I want to say because we're on camera, but we're going to have to go deal something because, you done let me on. I'm probably done invested something in you, and now you done gave me this fake reality.
Right. Yeah. And I think we kind of, too, a lot of times when I used to hear that term, it was more so affiliated with employment opportunities. So it was working towards people really trying to progress themselves. Again, looking at the generational transformation that we have now. We were coming up in a time when you didn't see people who looked like us in these, leadership positions, in these authoritative roles. And so fake it till you make it is, you're going to have to put yourself equally. They were trying to create leverage. Let me just say that. And so that's kind of how the term was brought up to my perspective. Let me just speak for that. That's for the way it was presented to me. So it was never presented in this pretend to be something that you're not kind of connotation. It's just sometimes you may have to say, you know what, I've been a leader or a manager, although you may have not been nothing but the cashier. But you know what I'm saying?
Or led for one shift or something
right.
like that.
But it's using that experience that you gain in other roles that allow you to, you know, advance yourself in that aspect. But I think you're right when you notate the influence or the power of influence that social media and social platforms have created, because now people live a deceptive lifestyle, right? And so I think when you really come to that, and this is no shade to your friend, but I think that's a self-esteem problem, because you want to be perceived as something that's not your reality yet. And ultimately, whether you're getting Hilton points or not, you're not posting that video. You're not doing that for the Hilton points. You're doing that because you want someone to say, hey, this person has value. And so ultimately, there's a deficiency that you have to fill somewhere. If me saying, oh, that person like, I don't really care where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're only in a hotel room, what can you tell me about anything other than that room?
Hilton points.
Right? Yeah, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I would have rather you been, you know, because you can ride the Tennessee, Texas, or whatever. You could have put a full tank of gas in. You didn't have to spend the night there, but just because you rode there you created an experience, and you showing me your travel. That's real. That's the connection. But to just tell me that you stayed in a penthouse.
And it would be the same amount of money, right?
Right.
You know, gas money to go up, gas money to come back.
Right.
You know, so.
Let me ask you, Robert, is it working for him? Is he getting is he getting the audience that he wants?
Interesting.
Hey,
I'm gonna be honest
I'm not
with
gonna
you.
cap. I ain't mad at him.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It is working for bro. Like, it is working for him. Like, legit. And
I understand. That's,
like,
I can't hate on
I
him.
ain't knocking him, because like, he getting to the bag. He's getting to the bag.
Yeah.
But
He said go.
But is that the
Maybe.
goal? If the bag is the goal, then I guess that's what he's doing. If the bag is the goal, but
I'm just trying to understand.
if the success
So,
is the goal,
maybe-
if going up higher and getting better is the goal, then no, this is not the right move. But if the bag only is the goal,
I mean, but I guess where's the monetary attainment occurring from? How do you get a bag just by going to the penthouse?
so the audience that he's like appealing to,
Okay.
um,
So this person has to be attractive.
yeah.
That's it. So the two different things. So that video is not getting him. It's the fact that he's attractive.
But that's helping it though.
No.
But
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's the
where
thing.
it is, yeah.
Like, okay, so think
Yeah.
about this. Think about this. I'm gonna say it. I probably won't get invited back to the show for this, but it's all right.
oh Lord,
All of us on this panel, we got melanin in our skin, right? So if someone's coming to talk to you about financial literacy, and like they in something beat up, but they really understand money, like, would you rather hear from them like in a penthouse, and like they took time to like put thought into like what was going on, versus they are on the side of the street and they give you advice? I know for me, I ain't gonna listen to buddy, bro, you on the side of the street.
Perception is
Yeah,
big.
perception is everything.
yeah.
I ain't hate nobody. I wouldn't do it though.
I just, you put it in two different perspectives. Again, I think it's what is his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But ultimately, how much sustainability is that going to get? Because a bag is not permanent. A bag is momentary. You get a bag for a moment. It doesn't sustain you. So if you're not doing anything else other than that, because eventually it's gonna get old. Like, eventually you're gonna have to change something, because you going to a penthouse is just gonna be you going to a penthouse again. Like, at some point it's got to be used to some elevation. Now, what I do know is that attractive people in penthouses, people are attracted to, because oftentimes people want to achieve that status, right? And it's a perception that he's selling, is this is where I am, but in reality,
Are you?
are you?
You know, you said you wouldn't necessarily listen to that person that's on the side of the street. Well, I had it earlier when I was a little bit younger. I had just got a new car, Honda Accord at the time. I think it was 2000. Well, I'm not going to say what year, but it was a nice little sport, a little coupe, right? And I went, got it washed, and the guy on the side of the street was like, hey, you just talking to me, and congratulating me on the car. He thought it was nice, whatever. And then he said, hey, don't let them know what you're doing. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. And I'm like, yeah. You know, that's a little statement. Well, come to find out, that same statement came back to me later because at a different part of my life, I went up for a promotion. Excuse me, not a promotion, a pay raise. I didn't get the pay raise, and I didn't get the pay raise because they knew some other stuff that I was doing, other income I had coming in. And the statement was, well, why do you need this extra money? That ain't you don't need to know what I got going on shouldn't affect whether I get a pay raise or not. My performance should. But that statement came back to me when he said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. And that matters. Like, people will take things that you're doing and say, okay, I don't have to pay him X, Y, and Z because he got other stuff coming in. That don't matter. Pay me, quote unquote, my worth.
Pay me, yeah.
For whatever it is that I'm doing in that moment in time. So I said all that to say, even with that, I get what you're saying, but we have to be careful. We never know. That person that's on the side of the road, they're there for a reason, and what they're giving you may be, all right, this is why I'm here. Don't do what I did, or it could be some other stuff. But anyway, we just have to be careful when we receive information. It possibly can still help us.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. What I was gonna say to a later part of the show.
All right, but so for right now, what I want you to do is explain to everybody who you are. You already said your name, but who you are, what you're about, what you're doing, what you got going on.
Okay, so who am I? That's a good question.
Who am I?
Who am I? So currently, right now, I am attending Anderson University, getting my Master's of Divinity.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
so
that's my undergrad. I'm an alumni.
Okay. And every time I tell people that, they look at me with this puzzle face, like, what's divinity? And I tell them, well, I want to be a senior pastor one day. And so currently doing that, I am in the process of starting up a mentoring program that will help collegiate young men transition. As I was blessed in undergrad to just experience a lot of different things. But what I noticed is what was common for me is not common for everyone else. And so someone has to kind of meet that need. And so I believe that really God gave me that vision. And so now I'm just working on the back end to make it make sense. So whenever I go present it or whenever I meet the right person that's willing to invest in it, they're ready to go. Let's see. Currently engaged. Engaged.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Shout out to you and her.
Yeah, so I'm hanging my jersey in the Raptors.
Okay, jersey.
Is it a high number jersey?
We ain't discussing that. We ain't discussing that.
No.
But yeah,
this is a family show, guys.
Yeah, family show. But I am happy to hang my jersey in the Raptors. I'm gonna put that out there. I am happy
Most definitely.
to hang that up. And I would say, man, the last thing that kind of describes me as a person, man, is I'm a real big family-oriented, friend-oriented guy. I legit want to see everyone win. Yeah, so that's who I am. That answer your question.
All right. So according to a study done by Dominican University, people who have goals but do not write them down will successfully achieve their goals 43% of the time. I thought that was impressive, actually. However, people who have goals and write them down successfully achieve their goals 61% of the time. Almost a 20% increase, right? However, even more thought-provoking, and this is where D comes in for me. People who have goals and write them down and share them with a friend with updates successfully achieve their goals 76% of the time. That's 3/4 of the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But it's accountability. At the end of the day, that's accountability. I'm not just writing them down, I'm not just keeping them to myself. I'm sharing them with somebody, and somebody who either gonna encourage you, call you on it. Cause every friend doesn't call you on something, right? So some people are just super supportive, but even that can just be instrumental in you getting to your goal. So I just want to throw that out for QD of the hour. Now we're gonna hand it over to D to get an introduction, and we're gonna get into it. Well, we already into it, really.
All right, so setting life goals can be good for us. If we take just a little more time to set the right goals in the right way, we'll have a greater chance of reaching those goals and manifesting some of our dreams. We often talk about setting goals, but how do we actually achieve them?
So, the episode, the whole thing is setting and achieving goals, right? Then there's conflicting information when it comes down to goal. Should we keep them to ourselves? Should we focus on them? I saw a video that said we shouldn't focus on. I hated that video. I get what he's trying to say. Sometimes I think as human beings, sometimes we just try so hard to be different. To come up with a different outlook, a new way of saying the same thing. And sometimes we do to the detriment of people. But anyway, there was a video that says we shouldn't focus on our goals. I disagree with all of that.
Me too.
I totally disagree.
I think you should write them down. And as the facts, as the facts stated, sharing them can be helpful. Now I have kept some stuff to myself, but I've also shared them, and it's been, you get put on Front Street when you share them because it's like, hey, didn't you say this? Didn't you say you was going to do this? Even Mr. Winston, who does our audio and visual, who's also engaged too, by the way, Robbie.
Yeah.
But his fiance, when I met her at a place of employment, and I told her, hey, in about a year I won't be here. I don't know what made me say that to her when she was just coming in, but a year later, lo and behold, I resigned from that position to go forward, more or less go full time into what I'm doing now, which is Gravity Counseling Group. And, all that speaking into existence, the power of language that you're talking about, sharing that goal, all of that work together, almost like in a perfect storm to get you where you're going to go. So, we have to be cognitive of that. But what do you guys think just in general, what y'all think about goals, setting goals? We just started there. What you think about setting goals?
I think it's important. Katrina Young, she's a kind of a mentor of mine. She has this saying. I looked it up. It's actually, it goes back. You expect what you inspect. Expect what you inspect. So I look at it like, reading the Bible. I think it was King Solomon prayed about everything. I think I set goals about everything. If I'm going into a meeting, what's the goal of this meeting for me? And I think that's kind of what Katrina was trying to get across to me. That she does. Before she goes into anything, what is my expectations going into something? If I expect this, then I'm gonna prepare for it in this way. Expect what you inspect. So if I've inspected and I've thought about all these challenges, that are going to be in my way to get to this goal, then I know I'm going to meet the expectations that I'm going towards.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. This. I am I very strongly agree that you need to set goals. But I think sometimes we struggle with that because we're not exposed to a lot. Like I have the saying that I live by: exposure plus opportunity equals reality. So what that means is I can't set a goal that I've never been exposed to.
Right.
Or I never can experience opportunities that I've never been exposed to. Because once you are experienced to that, exposed to something and you gain those opportunities, now you get a glimpse that, this too can be my reality. Like, he don't know how much, like, he has inspired me just looking from afar. Like him saying, I'm about to work this particular place of employment while I'm still going to support my passion. And then by this point in time, I'm going to walk away from it and do it full time. And like legit seeing him do that, it put me to say, if I set those same goals and I work those same principles that work, I can do the same thing. I think a lot of times, like the reason we struggle with setting goals is because we don't understand principles. I'm gonna let that sizzle. I'm gonna let that sizzle.
You can let it marinate on us.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big. So, is there a such thing as setting right goals or wrong goals? Is there a such thing as that? Right goals. when I was thinking about that, I think all
so.
goes right.
No.
All goes
Well,
right for you.
For something, depending on the purpose, but
Yeah.
it might not lead to a very healthy outcome.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you got to know the value of the goal too. You got to know the value of the goal.
Yeah, all goals are not right.
Yeah.
All goals are not right. I had to sit with that one for itself.
Yeah.
What's your rationale when you say
No,
that? 'Cause you
don't
sound
do that.
really
Don't do
convinced.
that. Don't do that.
Come
You
on.
sound really convinced.
Give it to us.
All right.
Something that just came to you, so I'm very excited to hear.
So you're young and you have you're in this world, you're experiencing this world, and you're taking from this world. And then based on that, you have your goals. But the things that you take might not be the best things. So for instance, I'm gonna go back to, we've said this on a previous episode. I used to watch TV a lot. I love the Martin Show. All right, and I love how just the whole setup. I got this apartment. I got this girl. I got my homeboys, and that was my goal.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I don't want an apartment. I want a house. I want real estate. I don't want just a girl. I want a wife. I want kids. But in that moment, my goal was, I'm going to get out. I'm going to get an apartment. And someone may say, as they're listening to me, oh, that wasn't a bad deal. It really wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily the right goal, especially where I'm at right now. I could have dreamed bigger. I could have dreamed bigger. There was more out there for me, but at that moment, that was my goal. And ultimately, it wasn't right. It didn't necessarily lead me down a wrong path, per se. I was able to progress beyond that. But all goals aren't right. And it goes back to what you were saying, exposure. That's what I was exposed to, I guess you could say, in that moment in time, and it led me there. But the more I got exposed to, then I was actually able to look at goals and actually go in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think also too, we set goals based on our bandwidth. Like, sometimes we set goals and they're not healthy for us because we're trying to like operate off someone else's bandwidth or someone else's mental capacity. And I found myself guilty of this a lot because I'm a dreamer. I dream. And there's nothing that I feel that I cannot accomplish. And so I find someone that's doing what I want to do. And then I try to write my goals based on what they have achieved. And what I realized is that I can't do that. Because like what they have achieved, like my bandwidth just can't handle right now. And to be honest, like it sucks to like kind of accept that. And it's ugly, but it's truthful. And so it allows you to like make measurable goals to that you can obtain that eventually lead you to achieving that goal.
I think it's important to know you can't duplicate the experience, right? You can use somebody else's experience as a blueprint, but you'll never get the same exact outcome because we too will never be the same people. And I think it is a challenge when you're setting and achieving goals. You have to be aware of yourself, and I know we promote that a lot, but you have to be aware of who you are and what you have the capacity to do currently, right? As well as what you are willing to put into what it is that you desire to achieve. Because no one else can put in the game what you're not willing to sacrifice, right? I can't expect more from someone else on my behalf and then me give 10%, right? While they're giving 150 and expect for me to show up and achieve what it is that I personally desire. So when you ask the question, can goals be right or wrong? I think they can be based on perspective sometimes, right? Because sometimes, like you said, you can be in the wrong mindset and setting goals that really don't align with who you are as a person. And so even if you're able to achieve those things, they don't produce to you the desires that you really want to have. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happens a lot of times with us as people. We set goals when we really don't truly understand it. Like you said, just looking at somebody else's experience. Like, people like you, I know this sounds crazy, but I just think about growing up, people used to always talk about having a dream car. And Like, I remember saying, oh, I got a dream car. And I'm like, no, I don't. You know, like, in reality, like, there don't have to be a goal for me to get a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't have to be a passion for me, right? As long as I'm able to get around. And then I don't even like to drive like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but if I'd have spent my whole life trying to achieve that, right, or make that a priority of me, then I would have been trying to get something I'm not even going to utilize, right? That's no longer an aspect of my life that I prioritize. And I think that's just important to really be in that place of self-awareness.
What are SMART goals? What's the best way to address some of the things that we want in life? What you got, Josh? You
Dang, you put it on me. I was giving you a signal or something else, but you put it on me. SMART goals. I'm gonna pass it to D. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got something else I can talk about. Bro. You want to get down to it? We can. Okay, so while Kervin laughs, and I'm gonna say, I thought about something about goals. Goals are setting goals is a motivator too. Okay, setting goals is a motivator. It motivates you on your journey. You think about it. If you're going to the beach or something like that, you're gonna be excited about that journey as well as that destination, right?
Right.
So goals are a really big motivator. Now back to Kervin on the SMART goals. I don't know what that stands for, but that's yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Somebody else handle that for me.
Okay, so when you're talking about SMART goals in perspective, so we're looking at your goal being specific, so basically stating it what it is that you are specifically trying to achieve. It needs to be measurable in terms of quantitative, so you're able to actually see the growth or see the production. Right. Achievable, again, going back to the realisticness of what it is that you're pursuing. So I want to be a millionaire tomorrow, right? That's not a realistic goal because unless I got some
unless you're on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
If you're on OnlyFans, you might be able to do it.
Or unless I got the right lottery ticket numbers, but realistically.
Josh, you do know what OnlyFans are, right?
What, OnlyFans?
Yeah, you know what it is, right?
Yeah,
okay. I just making sure.
So, just setting
considering
things.
having one. We're not doing the traditional stuff they do on OnlyFans.
I was about to say.
Okay.
It's gonna be like
I'm not sure what that.
Very positive.
I'm not sure
spiritual.
how we got to
OnlyFans, and enlightening.
Because you said a millionaire, and the only way you're gonna become a million. Well, I ain't gonna say the only way, but one of the ways you can become a millionaire is to have an OnlyFans account and maybe show your toes.
Okay, well,
maybe say it
going on to SMART talks about relevant.
I hear a foot fetish over here.
And then time-based. And so, looking at the amount of time, giving yourself time to achieve those things. I'm not sure what you all are into right now. So, yeah, how do you stay motivated to reach your goals?
All right, so you said SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. And for me, when it comes down to SMART goals, right, the biggest thing that I like to tell people is that time part of it, because a lot of times that was a mistake that I made. All right, I'm gonna talk about being in college for a second. So,
how long ago was that?
It was just a few short years ago, considering when we talk about time. All right, but when I went to school, right, when I decided to go to college, or actually my mom decided for me, I just wanted to graduate. I didn't say I'm gonna graduate in 4 years. I didn't say what it was. So I ended up graduating in 5.5 years. Who does that? Me. I did it because I didn't have time associated with that goal. And the same thing with grad school. I did it again. I didn't learn from my undergraduate. So typically you graduate from grad school in 2 years. I think I did it at 5 or 6. And it's because I would go to school, stop, go to school, stop. Definitely took my time. Got married along the way, had kids and all of that stuff. But I would have been further along in my career had I set the time, graduated in 2 years, got my license. I've been way further along than I am right now.
I think that's a misconception, though. I think sometimes when people think that had things went the way they wanted them to go, they would be further. And that's a very dangerous thing to do because you're going on a state of hypotheticals. You are, in my belief, you are exactly where you were supposed to be. And you, although it may have taken you longer, you needed the journey. I think the traditional expectation is people graduate in 2 years, but life happens. And so people need to see that, you know what, I may go to school for 2 months or 6 months, fall off, and have to get back on the bandwagon because that's realistic. The idea that everybody's going to go to school and graduate in 2 years, that's not realistic. Most people don't. A lot of people have to take years out, take time off. People have end up changing degrees and going. And so I think when we put people in this is what you have to do, this iron skillet, everybody has to do the same thing. This is somewhat why people aren't able to achieve goals, because they set themselves up to be something that's not realistic to who they are and what they want to obtain. Life is happening, and so you really have to be able to embrace the journey and understand that even in your ability to try to achieve certain things, there may be detours along the way. And it can't change what it is that you're ultimately working towards. And I think what I heard somebody say was to shift the word goals to objectives. Like what are kind of what you were talking about later? What are you really wanting to get out of him? What is the ultimate outcome that you're trying to achieve? And ultimately for life, you just want to be the best person for you. And ultimately, that's what you're working towards. Not going to school and graduating. In 2 years, it was, I want to be able to graduate, and that's what you did. It just took you a little longer.
So, could I ask a question?
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, go ahead.
But when you leave, I'll start talking.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about something, and it really made me ask this question to myself. Like, and I'm gonna say this culturally. As a culture, I don't think we're taught to value time. And so because we're not taught to value time, like we'll have a goal, we'll work it, but because we don't put an expectation on it, then we become like lazy towards like seeing it or following through. I realized that about me.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so like I was reading the other day, I'm gonna take a scripture and I'm gonna let it go. I was reading the other day and it kind of blew my mind. I think it was like Habakkuk 2:1-5, and it was talking about like write the vision and make it plain so that a hero can run with it. And like what messed me up was like it's two type of people. Like when it comes to goals, it's someone that can like run with you with your goal, and then it's someone that can run with your goal. And like meaning like, because we didn't like take time to like value time and like really write it out, make it plain, make it literal, like simple that a 2-year-old can understand it. Someone else can come in and tell us what our goal should be. And now we're like at this level of like trying to live up to unrealistic expectations because it's no longer our goal.
That's big.
This man right here is like helped me like understand that. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Anybody want to share anything else with regards to goals in general? Any additional parting statements from anybody? Because you didn't even talk about your platform either.
Which one?
The ugly.
The ugly truth.
Yeah. You didn't mention that.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry.
just kind of wrap us up then. Any parting messages you want to deliver to the audience with regard to goals, and then talk a little bit about your platform.
Okay, so I'll tie the two in. So I really created this platform called The Ugly Truth, and it was basically like kind of just dealing with like life, because life be lifing sometimes. And I think sometimes we get caught up. Life be lifing. Yeah, life be lifing, man. And I think because we're not able to like kind of recognize like with the truth and like how ugly it is, we can't achieve things. So like what I started doing was just being like transparent about things that I'm going through, and just so my transparency hopefully like is helping like other people like achieve their goals and seeing, hey, it's okay to struggle, or hey, it's okay to like second guess yourself, stuff like that. So that's why I created Ugly Truth. You can follow me on Instagram at the Robert_Kelly Jr. Facebook, Robert Kelly Jr. Yeah, make sure you follow, subscribe, and I appreciate it.
Most definitely.
And y'all have anything else? All right,
Oh,
so
good.
we want to thank you guys again, or for those who are listening, for taking the time out to listen to us. If you want to hear more about life, health, family, culture, questions, thought-provoking questions, go check out Josh Williams on YouTube.
Appreciate it.
Typically, it's like 5, 6. If you look at it in the whole form, it's 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes. But he also has the shorts on there, so they're less than 60 seconds, and it's always thought provoking. And we need that. We have so much entertainment diet coming into us. Have to be intentional. We say this all the time about being intentional about the stuff that you do, and one of those ways is subscribe to Let's Talk About It. Look at what he got going on. The questions that he's asking. Yeah, Josh Garvey Williams.
Garvey Williams. Yeah.
Also subscribe to Speaking with Gravity. We try to do the same thing. Any event needs that you have to increase your event to make it better, then just look up 61 Event Rentals. We'll attach it in the show notes. Also, Kodak Ready Consultant.
Let's go.
We've talked on a previous episode about solution focus and working with somebody to strategize how to take maybe the next step or next steps. Reach out to Ms. Carpenter and everybody that's that we try to have on this platform. We want it to be a space where they're able to, you can learn from them or connect with them in some way to enhance the life that you're already living. And definitely Ms. Carpenter is one of those persons. Gravity Counseling Group, we provide individual family counseling, group counseling. We do a wellness group once a month, so check us out. Just Google it. Check us out. Shout out to Mr. Winston for holding us down on the audio and the visual productions. Check him out on winstonjstewart.com. Man, he does everything. Everything. I mean, he was just playing the piano a few minutes ago, so he does everything. And again, check out Mr. Robert Kelly, who's a future media mogul.
Let's go.
So starting off with
place that on me like that.
starting off with the ugly truth, and then he's gonna keep it going, keep going ahead with that. All right, thank y'all for taking the time to listen. You could be doing anything in the world, but you chose to be here with us and listen to us, and we definitely appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Do that for us. All right, I'm a therapist, but this isn't therapy. It's a podcast.